It's Friday morning on the morning review right here at Prime Media TV. I am Ayo, bringing you all of the headlines that we have to be reviewed with you this morning. And as always, we have quite a number of stories to be reviewed with you in the studio this morning. We'll be taking you through the ministerial briefing of some of the ministers that were newly they haven't been appointed yet, but let's go through their ministerial screening. So during the ministerial screening of Bianca, Akpabio chides senator for praising Bianca's beauty during the screening. We have some videos that you'll be watching shortly, and then we'll move on to the conversation. Bianca, like 6 other ministerial nominees screened by the Senate, read her credentials before the Red Chamber and was subsequently quizzed by the lawmakers. She was screened for the post of Minister of State Foreign Affairs. When Akpabio opened the floor for questions, Ungu, who currently serves as the senator representing Enugu West District in the 10th National Assembly, started by applauding Bianca's beauty, to which he attracted a rebuke. But then very quickly you'll be watching a video of how Akpabio had rebuked this man while he was praising Bianca's beauty. Take a view of this and we'll be right back.
Qualification to serve this country in any capacity. She's very intelligent, very, very charismatic, and very beautiful. You can see, I asked her to tone down her beauty when she comes in today.
Please restrict your comments to her resume.
Her resume. It is there.
Because you know why I'm saying that?
It is there. Most beautiful girl in Nigeria.
Senator Omen, restrict yourself to her resume.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll go into social media and Google.
You.
I will ask a question. Who touched my Bianca?
Akpabio rebuking Ungu for calling Bianca beautiful. I think it's high time our leaders learn to separate conversations at workplaces from conversations at home. There are conversations that when you are right at the comfort of your home, you are free to have such conversation. It's a free and fair conversation when you're in the comfort of your home and you are both. But when you are in an open place like this, you must learn to be mindful of the things that we say. But then let's quickly have a view of this video. And as soon as we are done watching this, we'll go into analysis. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Your ability to serve your nation. So let me hear from your maternal home. You see, we Senator Ositangu.
Thank you, Mr. President, and my distinguished colleagues.
Is it paternal home?
Both.
Oh, both paternal and maternal.
Okay. Mr. President, the beautiful nominee standing before us.
I said restrict yourself
it is in the
to the resume.
Forget this.
Forget this word beautiful. I said restrict yourself.
It's in the CV, sir.
Restrict yourself. She didn't put in the CV that she's beautiful. Is that what she put? Where?
It's in the CV.
Where? The CV says beautiful Bianca.
It's in the CV. Mr. President, Bianca Olivia Odinaka Ojukwu is my sister from Ngwo, the local government of Enugu State. Mr. President, a golden fish have no hiding place. And that is why the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria went and brought this woman who is very passionate about our country, who is very committed to see the growth of this nation, who will give all that is within her reach to make sure that this country gets to a greater height. Mr. President, you see, when Mr. President announced the nominees and put them in ministries where they are going to serve, it makes everything easier for us. Because she is posted to where she has absolute confidence and competence, where she is going to make a huge impact to this country. She's a lawyer and also a professional in diplomacy.
The sergeant announced, give her a seat.
Mr. President, who else?
Give her a seat. Give her a seat. Sit down and jot down. Sit down, sit down. Sit down.
I can stand, sir.
No, we don't want any disaster here.
No, I will stand, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. So if you are sure.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Mr. President, who else can serve in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, if not somebody with this qualification? We call her Adeje Jemba. She's from my town, married to Neu, and that's why I also went to Neu to marry my own wife back as a favor. We don't need to say more than what my brothers from Anambra State have said, because our screening is to confirm the competence of the nominees. And everybody in this hallowed chamber agrees that Bianca is competent and agrees that the portfolio assigned to her is where she has already excelled and performed creditably. What we are hoping is that as soon as she takes over her office, changes will come, positive changes. So, Mr. President, we thank the President once more for giving us opportunity. We had a Minister of Foreign Affairs from my town before, in the name of Dubem Onya. She is going to be the second Minister of Foreign Affairs from our community. And we always know how to perform. Mr. President, we just wish her the best. Remember, she is supposed to be a member of this Senate. If not that, she ran for Senate before. If not for the way it went, she's supposed to be sitting here in this hallowed chamber, screening other nominees. It means that she has a qualification and competence. She understands what we do here. So as a colleague that I see her as, because she contested, I think it is right thing. Having noted her competence and qualifications, we will have to tell her, with your kind permission, Mr. President, that Bianca should actually bow and go and do her work. Thank you, Mr. President.
On the ministerial briefing of Bianca, and here's the conversation that we are diving into this morning. And as always, I have with me in the studio my co-host Umachukwu Treasure, who will be analyzing the story with me. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm fine.
All right. So let me hear your thoughts on Bianca Ojukwu. The compliments to how the conversation turned out. I think they were sworn in yesterday at the Senate House. I think that's I'm not too sure of that. But then the screening, I followed up on few of the screening. But then let me hear your own thoughts. Bianca Ojukwu was a former ambassador of Nigeria. She won the beauty pageant 3 then, and she represented Nigeria to some extent. Now, with her portfolio as a former ambassador of the country, how will you rate her effectiveness as a Minister of Foreign Affairs now?
Okay. I will begin with her introduction and the praises. You see, there is nothing. I don't see anything bad. If you say she's beautiful, of course. If you call her beautiful, she's actually beautiful. Okay, and the Senate President shunning or rebuking the senator who called her beautiful equally played a role too. I don't see the male nominees talking, standing and talking, and they were given chair to sit. All right, so for him to have requested that the seat be given to her is equally a preferential treatment.
Definitely.
Okay, so it's not a bad thing for you to. If she says she's beautiful, it's actually calling a spade because she's actually beautiful, and it's a privilege to have her. My concern and my happiness is the fact that all of them are attested to the fact that she's fit for the position she has been appointed for. That is my concern, because like I will always say that most of the issues we are having in the country today is as a result of having wrong hands in positions, right? Putting some people to occupy a position not because they have the qualifications and the experience. So for them all to have attested that she is actually fit for the position, that is my happiness. And to also for the fact that she's somebody who has been in the corridor of power. Is not her first appointment. So she has been within the system. She knows about, should I call her an old broom, which we expect to know the corner, right? So we just hope that that honor that have been bestowed on her, that trust that have been bestowed on her, that she's going to deliver, right? Because there is saying that to whom much is given, much is expected. Among other nominees, she is the only one we are talking about, and so we hope that she delivers and make Nigerians proud.
Yeah, definitely. As a former ambassador, the Nigerian ambassador to Spain, she slept. In fact, I was really shocked by the revelation. She slept in an hotel room for a year just because the Nigerian embassy wasn't really up to standard. Then she was there, and the image that we have, the image that Nigeria has before Spain now, she's part of the people who built that image. So I think to some extent she's fit for the position. Now back to the issue of beauty and beautiful and all of that. I think we should learn to separate um workspace conversation from in-house conversation. In-house conversation, you are free to express yourself. And I like the fact that when Akpabio was chiding the other minister who had called her beautiful, Akpabio emphasized the fact that social media people will carry you. They will come and drag you. And really, we have been dragging them. And I like the fact that you touched on the fact that the reality is that she's beautiful. At the same time, Akpabi had not done anything different from what the other senator had done. He said, you are calling her beautiful, but he was even saying, leave my Bianca alone. That's passing a different message entirely. And he has forgotten that once upon a time, he came out to tell us that he's a husband of one wife and all of that. He has girls, so he won't undermine any lady who wants to who is sitting in position of authority today. So we have to be really careful with our words as leaders. And speaking of my own expectation of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, okay, she's an incoming Minister of Foreign Affairs. I really expect so much from her. I expect so much representation. I've always been a fan of not judging people by their past or whatever it is that they have done. At the same time, I can to some extent judge this woman by her past. If she can serve as an ambassador for Nigeria to Spain and repair our image like that. We want people with experience. We want people who know the job. We want people who know what they are doing. And this is not even a conversation of where she comes from, because one of the senators was cited an example of where she comes from and how that is going to affect our responsibility, that she is the second minister to be coming from that particular region and all of that. So it is not a conversation on somebody coming from a particular tribe. It is a conversation on effectiveness. How well can this person do the job? And because of our portfolio as the former ambassador of Nigeria to Spain, we know that she's going to deliver really well. But that is not us giving all of our 100% for her. We are just saying that we look forward to excellent delivery, because the image of Nigeria to the outside world is very poor.
Very important.
Very poor. Very, very poor. Because a lot of person would say Nigerians are the one ruining the image of Nigeria. But if you look at Nigeria herself is not really conducive for the people living in it. So I would like to hear conversation from the Minister of Foreign Affairs on what can be done to repair the image of Nigeria to the outside world. And beyond to the outside world, what can we do as an insider in Nigeria to repair the image of the country? And it is not a repairing of image that's we'll just say, okay, this is what we are doing, this is what we are doing. What can we do as a person? Yesterday I was having I think I was reading No Excuses from Brian Tracy, and he was talking about a particular minister from America. They said in the American Act, what they do is that before anybody can be appointed in any position, they must hold a particular value with high esteem. If you don't seek 100% in that value, or even at most, let's say 90%, you will not even get to that position, because they hold value with high esteem. So because America is a high valued country, you see that they are thriving. So I want to hear conversation from the ministers of foreign affairs that what can we do as an individual, as a Nigerian, to build our image inside, so that it is the building of our image inside that people from outside world will say, okay, Nigeria is thriving and we are doing well. I look forward to that conversation. So let me hear your final thoughts on this story. So we'll move on to other conversations.
Okay. You see, about efficiency in her new position. You see, should I say the whole thing does not really rest on her alone? Okay, because she, as a minister of foreign affairs, she's subject to some people, and there is, I can say that there is limitation, to what she can do if all the necessary support that is needed for her to be effective are not given to her. All right, and talking about rebuilding her image before the out there, you see, it takes certain success requires collective effort. Honestly, it takes our leaders understanding that we have bad image out there for them to actually come together to ensure that it is being rebuilded. All right, so it's I hope she is going to be she I hope they are not going, there's not going to be any form of oppression, these authority figures that you have to do my bidding, you have to do it this way, this fatherism of 18 in politics, whereby certain people have to approve certain things, or certain people things have to be done in a certain way to please certain people, not the people, right? Because I believe it cannot be true for us to say that all our leaders are bad, but some of them that have good intention are under authority, and they must be subject to the authority they are under. All right. So I hope she's given, not just being given the position, I hope she's given the necessary aid that it will enable her to come out well, that will enable her to serve the people very well, that will enable her to function very well.
Yeah, definitely. So we are looking forward to an effective performance from the Office of the Ministers of Foreign Affairs moving forward. We hope that you would be able to deliver as expected. And on this note, we'll be going on a quick break. As soon as we get back, we'll dive into another conversation that will interest you on the Minister of Power and Power Outage. So stay with us, we'll be right back.